Hi everybody. Today's video is going to be about books, recommended reading that I would like to tell you about. I'm a book lover. I've always been a book lover, and I found as a large woman that reading stories about women like me has been a tremendous help to me in feeling like I'm not alone, like there's other people out there who've gone through the same things as me, and it's just really invaluable to read a really great book about somebody like yourself. So here's some books I want to recommend to you. I want to quote, first of all, something from my favorite novel, Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I just want to read you a section here when he's talking about great books. He says, "What really knocks me out is a book that, when you're all done reading it, you wish the author that wrote it was a terrific friend of yours and you could call him up on the phone whenever you felt like it." I love that because it's so true. When you read a really great book, it feels like you've bonded with the author. It's almost like the author is a personal friend of yours. You feel like you know them, and that's how all these books made me feel. And I want to recommend them to you. So first of all, on the nonfiction list, I want to recommend Fatso by Marilyn Wan. This is an amazing book that every fat person should have on their shelves. It's funny, it's smart, it's amazing. It'll make you laugh and it'll make you angry at times, some of the stuff that's in here. Some great advice. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun, as you can see from the cover. And there's even there's paper dolls. Paper dolls, people. I mean, come on. It's great. It's just fabulous. And I just love this book. One of my treasures. Fatso by Marilyn Wan. Okay, next nonfiction, Shadow on a Tightrope. This is an amazing compilation of essays by fat women. You may find it kind of hard to find because it's a little old, and it was published by a small press in 1983 by Antloop Book Company. But it's just amazing. All these stories from fat women about stuff that they've been through, whether they've been abused, and dieting, and relationships, and some of them write about going through gastric bypass. It's really just very moving, very touching, very poignant. There's poetry as well. You'll definitely find something to relate to in here. This is an amazing book. Really, really great. Another one I want to recommend is called No Fat Chicks by a Canadian journalist named Terry Polton. And again, it's about fat discrimination of all kinds. And some of the chapter headings here, to give you an idea, she covers everything. Prescription for Profit, Hungry for Work, about being discriminated against in the workplace or even finding a job, Starved for Affection, the stuff we go through in relationships, how we're often shunned and ignored, and a lot of us are hidden or kept in the closet by people that we're with because they're ashamed to say that they're with us. There's something for everybody in here. It's really great, and she writes a lot about how companies target fat women and how much companies have profited off fat people and the diet industry and everything. So this is a really great book, No Fat Chicks by Terry Polton. I also want to recommend anything by this lady, Sark. She's amazing. As you can see from the cover, it's colorful, it's joyful, it's vibrant. And what I love about this is it's all her books are like this. They're all handwritten, and they're done in all sorts of different colors, and she's got pictures and little cartoons that she draws. She's an artist, and she has like little poems in here and everything. It's just really amazing. I love her books. They're just, if you're having a rough day, this book would definitely cheer you up. Any of her books would definitely cheer you up. They're beautiful. They're works of art in themselves. So I highly recommend anything by Sark. This is a beautiful book. It's a memoir called Fat Girl by a woman named Judith Moore. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago, and she was a great writer. And she wrote another book called Never Eat Your Heart Out, and that focused more on food because she was a gourmet chef. And in that book, she wrote about how, when she was a housewife, how she used to make all these recipes. And I mean, you will just absolutely drool reading her all these sensual descriptions of the recipes that she made. But this one is more of a personal memoir about her growing up as a fat girl and then and becoming a fat woman. And it's pretty rough story. I mean, she had an abusive mother, she had an abusive grandmother, both verbally and physically, and she really did not have an easy life. It's very sad. But she's an amazing writer, and I'm sure all of you can find stuff that you'll relate to in here. Fat Girl by Judith Moore. And next on the nonfiction, this is my actually last selection, Confessions of a Car Beater by Susan Blutch. And this is about a woman who was, I believe she was close to 400 pounds, and she was a food addict and a binge eater. And she decided to go to a clinic in North or South Carolina, and she lost a lot of weight. This was published in 2008, so I don't know whether she managed to keep the weight off to this date. But why I love this book is it's about food addiction and about binge eating, because she was an emotional eater and she used food to cope with her emotions, and a lot of us can relate to that. A lot of us have used food to deal with difficult emotions, and she really covers that topic well in here. So I highly urge all of you to read that if you have these kinds of issues or know somebody or whatever. It's really an amazing book. And fiction-wise, I recommend Lady Oracle by Margaret Atwood. She's one of my favorite authors, period. But this is one of her first books, and the heroine's name is Joan, and she was a fat girl, also became a fat woman, then lost the weight, had an abusive mother. And I mean, it's just an amazing story. And if you know Margaret Atwood's work, I mean, she's an amazing writer. She's a goddess, queen of literature, has got God knows how many awards for her writing. I've always loved her books, but this is one of my favorites. And she deals with, like, you know, bullying in here. One thing she's really good at is showing how cruel and vicious that other women, girls and women, can be to each other, and this is definitely no exception. Lady Oracle by Margaret Atwood. Okay, for a hilarious, fun read that you're going to laugh your ass off, Sheila Levine is Dead and Living New York by Gail Perrin. As you can see, this is one of my favorite books because it no longer has a cover. I mean, it's dog-eared. It's like, it's been through hell, this book. But it's one of my favorite books. It's so funny. Sheila Levine is a young Jewish girl living in Manhattan trying to find love and survive dieting, and she hates herself, and she has no self-esteem, and she meets all these losers, but it's written in such a humorous, lighthearted, self-deprecating way. It's just so funny. You have to read it to believe it. You'll root for Sheila all the way through. It's just hilarious book, a classic. I urge you all to read it. Okay, Two Girls, Fat and Thin by Mary Gateskill. Just what the title says, about two girls, one fat, one thin. The thing that they have in common is that they had horrible, abusive childhoods. And, you know, the fat girl's name is Dorothy. She's a wonderful character, smart, intellectual, but very lonely and isolated. And it's beautiful, really beautifully written, very prosy. It's like a feast of words, you know, it just flows, and it's just a beautiful book. If you love really good writing, I recommend Two Girls, Fat and Thin by Mary Gateskill. And last on my fiction list is She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. I absolutely love this book. It blew me away when I first read it. The characters is a fat girl again who becomes a fat woman, then she loses the weight. But she also had a horrific childhood, has abuse in her childhood, and it's a sad story, but uplifting because she comes to, you know, love herself at the end. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and I urge all of you to read it. Now, if any of you have any recommendations for me that I did not mention, please, by all means, let me know, because I'm always looking for great books to read. And if we can find books with, you know, characters like us in them, all the better. You know, because it's great reading about somebody like you and who goes through the same kind of issues that you do. So I hope you all liked my suggestions, and I hope, you know, if any of you are interested, please, you know, read them. Comment, let me know what you think, and like I said, let me know if you guys know of any great books too. Okay? Happy reading. Bye.